Hello and welcome back to day number 89 of my road to 200 kilogram total. Now, before I begin with the breakdown of today, I would just like to talk about something that is kind of very personal to me, and that would be finding strength in times of adversity. Now, adversity can be defined as any challenge that happens to come across your way, whether that be through a person, a situation, or a conflict. It's basically conflict. That's my personal definition of what adversity is. Something that challenges you. And for today, a lot of things have challenged me, both personal and both in my personal life and in my professional life, if you can call what I'm doing professional, even though I'm not an elite athlete. But on the side of the technical, well, not the, oh yeah, on the, before I talk about the personal level, I would like to begin by talking about the adversity that I found here in my work, in my training session. So the adversity that I faced here was just trying to come to terms with being more proficient in my technique for the snatch. Even though I've been making leaps and bounds in terms of my clean technique, the snatch is kind of falling behind. Even though it doesn't feel as heavy, I just have to remember it's not moving as well as I want it to be. I'm not stomping as hard and my feet aren't planting aggressively, even though, yeah, you can see there that I'm losing my balance a bit. Right, boom. It's kind of good. And then moving on to some snatch balances, but anyway, yeah, this is just something that I've added to my workout to my training session for the past few days, focusing on really going under the bar. Now, how I dealt with this adversity in training would be just focusing a lot and knowing the reason for why I'm doing this. This whole journey to road to 200 kilogram total, it's not just so I can flex to people that I can I can snatch 85 and clean and jerk 115, or my total can be 200. That could be competitive for an amateur, but no, I do it because it's the why for why I'm lifting is because it brings order to my life, and it brings meaning, it brings order, and with that order comes meaning in my life. I love that I can have something to look forward to every day. I love having that repetitive nature of what I'm doing, and it's fulfilling to me as a person who loves order, who loves things when they just fall right into place. Well, even if they don't fall into place, at least I know that I'm still doing it within the confines of within my capabilities of knowing that there was really nothing else that I could have done, because that's just how it is. And before I continue, I would like to briefly talk about the adversity that happened with my personal life. And usually for the past few years, barring this year and last year, I've been feeling pretty sad about my birthday, because it's usually those times when I feel like I'm not really, well, I don't really know what I'm doing with my life anymore. So it's a quarter life crisis, if you will, and that's hard to come to terms with, especially since I'm just, literally just at the quarter of my life. I'm turning 24 on Tuesday, on the October 12th. So what possibly could I have adversities could I have possibly faced, and one of them would be something that I'm actually quite open about, problems with living up to expectations. Because honestly, I'm fine. I'm fine with knowing that I can't live up to everyone's expectations of me, because that's on them. If people have expectations of how you're supposed to be, then you have no obligation to fulfill that. I'm mostly talking about when people you know and love have expectations of you, and that's hard. That's another different thing entirely. And for me, that because I know that I know what I want to be. But without going too much into details, what I want to be isn't exactly what my some of my some family members of mine think I. No, actually, just one of my family members. The rest are pretty chill with my decision. They see the passion I have for it, but the other one, they all see the passion I have for it. But boomer's gonna boomer, and they until now they still think that what I'm doing won't it won't really matter. It's because of the fact that it's not gonna get me a lot of money, and I know that they're the place where they're coming from. They obviously they grew up in a very difficult time. I grew up in basically in a far more comfortable life than they ever did. But isn't that the point? Like, isn't that what you want? Don't you want your family to have an easier life? Isn't that the whole point of why? If like, it doesn't make sense to me why you would want to have them experience the same hardships. That's just anyways, that's enough of that. But basically, I had to find a lot of strength today, because I had to find so much strength today because not everything was going according to plan, especially with some personal issues right now. But that didn't affect my training at all, because when you're in training, because the training is my escape. It's my escape from even though it is a part of my day-to-day life, this is one of the things I look forward to every single day. This is the one thing I know that I can absolutely control in my life, and that's just how I'm able to find the strength to pretty much go on. And that's why I'm super grateful for knowing that weightlifting or sport in general has given me this sense of purpose and belonging. So yeah. Anyways, that's none of that melodramatic stuff. Alright, so as you guys saw earlier, the snatch went great. Oh, and wow, that clean and jerk actually looked very good also. And something that I've noticed is that, yeah, clean and jerks, they're just they're super on point this week. Very happy with them. Could use better footwork and speed under the bar during the jerk, but overall, very happy with them. And here's the top single at 80 kilos. Definitely could have done this for 90. Boom. Good. That was perfect. Okay. And here's the hard part. Here's the adversity part of my training. Aside from the technique, I was honestly super ready for the squats, but I forgot to warm up at 85 kilos with the back squat. For some reason I forgot and just went 75, 95, then 115, then 125, and I realized, oh no, that's not how I was supposed to warm up. I did that completely wrong. I was supposed to do 85, 105, 115, and then 125. Yeah. Even though it wouldn't make that much difference, I think that just sort of messed with me mentally. Don't let these fool you. These might look quote-unquote fast, but they're not. These were an absolute grind. Second and third reps were just grinds. And here's the second set. This was for a 3x3. And it's so weird, the fact that the training session number 1 had me do 5 sets of 3 at 120. And it was easy, but then an additional 5 kilos just made all the difference in terms of how well I would be doing this. But then again, I think it has to do with the fact that I hyped myself way too much during the snatch and clean and jerk portion, which I think you should have been there. But something that I've been listening to a lot was that when I watched Owen's video on training on his whole 1 week worth of training information about his training, you have to approach easy weights as they are easy weights. So you just have to hit them emotionlessly, and yeah, you have to hit them without emotion basically. And I think because of me overhyping and wasting too much energy on below 90% lifts, 90% RM lifts, that just tired me out too much. Right, anyways, I'm ending it here with some accessory work with pallet presses and single arm bent over rows. Anyways, that's it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks everyone.